All right, so the live is over. I am gonna be taking a look at this real quick because I really just want to look back at this with Pokemon, more specifically. I just there's a lot to talk about, honestly. So let's just take a look at this. Like I was saying, overall the overall picture, because it's like I'm not really paying attention to the textures of the environment. I personally believe that overall the general picture just looks 10 times better than freaking Scarlet and Violet ever. The textures aren't great, they still aren't, but the overall depth looks much better. There's actually like better shadows.
To make it easier for people and Pokemon to coexist, a company named
the very art direction is lending itself a lot. But like I was saying before, 10 times out of 10, this game with the very Pokemon models, and as well as the character models, the art direction, the art style of these models looks so much better in comparison to any of the previous games to me. They really do. Like, it actually looks like Pokemon.
You can catch Pokemon here.
Even though I wouldn't have minded like going back to like the Let's Go models in terms of size.
There are Pokemon that live
this with them having this art style, it's actually making me like the look of the full-on like character models. And then there's this. So there was some aspects when it came to the textures in Scarlet and Violet that I was not a fan of because it was leaning too much to like realistic textures. But it's like when it comes to certain Pokemon, like Steelix with the steel on their bodies, or like freaking Metagross and so on and so forth, that has like that sheen, that shine on them, like that I appreciate, while it's still keeping with the cartoonish look, not going too into the not hyper realistic, but you know what I'm saying, hyper realistic textures that we had in Scarlet and Violet. It was way too uncanny when it came to Scarlet and Violet with those textures on Pokemon. I wasn't a big fan of it. It just did not fit Pokemon to me personally.
Pokemon live easy.
It really just doesn't fit Pokemon in general for it to be like so hyper realistic with the textures, while it's the models in and of themselves are just, it doesn't lend itself to it.
Lives in Lumio City.
Like, you try to imagine a Slowbro with scales and it just looks weird.
But when night falls,
so we still get to do battles during the day, but it's like the battles become a big focus at night, apparently.
The ZA Royale.
At first, I honestly thought that this was going to be something like similar to, dude, that is a really good crocodile. That is a really good crocodile in this art style. Dude, that looks nice. If there's one thing that's literally getting to me when it comes to this game, it's the art style, the art direction when it comes to the Pokemon models. They actually look much better than they have ever been in 3D. And I think it has everything to do with their expressions. These Pokemon actually have expressions, which is crazy. They are so much more expressive than they have ever been, as well as with their animations. I would have to give Game Freak their flowers on that front. But it's like, let me see here. That is very interesting.
If you're spotted, they'll challenge you to battle.
I like how they did that with the whole spotted thing, pretty much staying true to the original Pokemon games, where if you do get spotted when you walk in front of them, it starts literally an immediate battle. That, bruh, I actually love that. I love that a lot. That's cool. And it's like with the The real-time battle aspect, you are literally being pulled into a battle. Like, that's craziness. That is actually freaking sick. I like that. I really do.
Strike first.
I'm so glad that there's gonna be a ton of freaking Pokemon battles, because if there was one thing that I wasn't really too much of a fan of when it came to Legends Arceus, was the fact that there just wasn't that much of a reason to have battles. There wasn't that many in terms of Pokemon battles. And unless you were just battling wild Pokemon, all you could realistically do, and what was the main focus, was just catching Pokemon. And that only stayed interesting for so long for me.
And you'll land a surprise attack.
But it's like, with us now getting freaking like a lot of Pokemon battles, like a lot of trainer battles, and them having this like style of gameplay, I don't know, man. This is probably going to be like my favorite 3D Pokemon game. If they end up freaking pulling this through, this might end up being my favorite Pokemon game of all time on 3D.
During battles, using a
It has like all the things that I realistically like in terms of the art style with the character models and the Pokemon models. It has my Absol.
Even more.
It has real-time battles.
And work your way up to rank A.
That's actually a very nice rank up rank up screen. But it's like that is actually pretty smart what they did there. So I guess I wouldn't exactly say that their main focal point is exactly this as far as ZA Royale, but I can see exactly what they did when it came to the whole naming scheme. ZA, literally ranking from Z to A. That makes sense.
Who reach the top
That's fair.
Are said to have a wish granted.
Like, even up close, dude, these character models look so much better. They look 10 times better than freaking Scarlet and Violet, as well as Sword and Shield. I don't even know how in the world they did that, but I like this art style, and I wish they would continue using it in the future, especially with Gen 10. I really wish. I'm not gonna like hold them to that, but I really wish that they would like stick with this art style here. This is a winner. This is a keeper right here. If they're gonna continue doing 3D, if there was anything that they would do when it comes to the art style for Pokemon, I would rather they either go Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, or this game. Because in terms of the art style, this is what I personally feel is what Pokemon should look like. Now, as far as resolution and the textures in the background, that's a completely different story. I'm not talking about that.
There are even more secrets waiting to be uncovered. What will you find?
Even the trainer. Look at the trainer's expression. Very nice. Very nice.
Your adventure. Pokémon Legends ZA launches on Nintendo Switch.
Man, I have to wait until freaking November for this game to drop. That's insane to me right now. Damn it, Game Freak.